Hey there you guys, Next Gen Striker here today to talk about basically more or less the end of this Batman thing I've had going on for a while. And today we're going to discuss the Batman film reboot that is going to be set in 2014, 15, 16, somewhere in there. Basically this is the movie that's going to tie in with the Justice League movie that they're going to do. Now I think this is actually coming after it, which doesn't exactly make a lot of sense, but whatever. So yeah, this is in the same universe as the Man of Steel movie, which is the next Superman movie coming out. So it's good that DC is finally grounding their superheroes in. Now let's just hope that all these movies are good, so that, you know, they all work together. Like Marvel, most of them were pretty good, you know, except Iron Man 2, that was the only one that... But, you know, at least Iron Man was a pretty well-established character by then anyway. So, speaking with Batman, I'm just going to give my thoughts on what they need to do with this reboot and the characters they need to do, and etc, etc. And then you guys can feel free to give your thoughts below on the character and the film and the franchise and all that. So, as far as news is what we know, we don't really know too much. There are some rumors that they're already casting, there are some rumors that they're already trying to write it. The most pretty much solid rumor that I've heard is that they're starting off with Batman Year 2, which is essentially what they did with Tim Burton's 1989 movie titled Batman, which is, you know, where the Joker just comes in. That's Year 2 of Batman. So I think that's what they're trying to go for, which is good, because Batman Begins is the best origin story we're probably going to get with Batman, so we don't really need to do that again. If it's a really well-established origin story that everyone likes, you don't really need to do it again. Especially with someone like Batman, everyone already knows who he is, so it's really just not essential. Just do the origin story in one film, and don't redo it again for another, like, 10 or 20 years. That's my thoughts on it anyway, for any superhero. Unless it's done horribly, then they probably do need to redo the origin story, but that's aside the point. So yeah, aside from the origin story, Batman, to me, the whole movie needs to be more grounded in comics. As you know, with Nolan, he took a lot of liberties, and I don't have a problem with that, but I think for this version, we need that one that's grounded in comics. That way this one sticks out different from Nolan, from Tim Burton, and Joel Schumacher. Please don't blend in with Joel Schumacher's. You guys already know what I think about that. But yeah, it definitely needs to be more grounded in comics because, you know, we haven't really had that version yet. And, you know, we need to have films of Batman where we can like every era in at least one way or another and be like, okay, well, I like this take on the Joker, but I also like this take on the Joker, and you guys see what I mean. As far as Batman, I think he needs to be, yeah, just more or less the comic book version, not a deep throaty voice, not, you know, not goofy, just normal Batman like Kevin Conroy Batman got going on, you know, just normal voice, normal Batman, not crazy. Yeah, just go for that. And that's not to say that this director can't take liberties, because he'll have to, you know. Because comic book stories can take like half a year, even longer to finish. So obviously they'll have to wrap things up faster and etc. Maybe change some characters around a little bit. But it needs to mostly stay grounded in comic books. The look, the attitude, you know, the only thing that they really need to take really big liberties on is the actual stories that they're telling, because we don't want to be comic for comic book page on the stories, because then there's no point in watching the movie. You can just read the comic, you know what I mean? So aside from the plot, everything else needs to stay pretty grounded in the comic books. Now as far as other characters they need to do, they definitely need to do Robin in this film franchise. Now the reason I say that is because Robin was pretty much absent in Nolan's movies, and Robin was done horribly in the 90s, so we definitely need a really good Robin. Now, it's not impossible, people, to have a good Robin. There have been good Robins before, just not on film. So we need to have a good Robin that people actually like, because he is a pretty cool character, the various versions of him. They're all pretty cool, so I think Robin would be nice. And definitely keep it, you know, don't let the other films contradict each other. Let the films run together, and maybe even have some cameos in the films, you know, like with Superman, because Superman's a good friend of Batman, and maybe have, I don't know, some of the other people. As far as villains go, maybe try to do some ones that we haven't seen before, at least do different takes on them. I mean, with Joker, they have to do Joker. It's inevitable. Just stick with like a Mark Hamill Joker, you'll be fine. But the other characters really haven't been done, I guess you could say, true justice, meaning they're not like 100% comic book style, so you can really take your pick on those. Although I do think that Harvey Dent was done really well too in The Dark Knight, so I don't know, maybe just fool around with that a little bit. As far as Alfred, just keep him and Gordon strong characters because they are supposed to be somewhat strong characters. And that's really all I can think of. You know, just keep it comic book style. So tell me below what your thoughts are and what they need to do and what characters they need to throw in. Maybe they should do Oracle this time. Maybe they should do Nightwing. Nightwing would be really cool. Maybe someone else. Maybe some villains like the Red Hood or Hush or, I don't know, Calendar Man. Whatever your thoughts are, tell me below what you think, and I will see you guys later.